Badges don't grant extra rights. This is Cop Block Radio on the FPRN Radio Network. Here are your hosts, Eric, Adam, and Scott.
Everyone, you are listening to the Cop Block Radio Show on FPRN and syndicated across the interwebs. Today is July 3rd, 2013. Over the past 3 weeks since we started on FPRN, the show has really taken off, so I'd like to give a big thanks to everybody who's been supporting us and spreading the word about the show. And I'd like to thank all the guests that have come on and hopefully all the ones that will continue to come on in the future. And if you're part of a local cop block group or a Peaceful Streets project or any other police accountability group, or you've been a victim of police abuse or want to bring something to our attention, you're just a bystander or something like that, you can reach out to us at the Cop Block Radio Show at CopBlock.org. And, then we can see if we can get you on. Tonight we have a packed show tonight. We have George Donnelly from Shield Mutual. We also are going to have Juan Santana from Cop Block Miami and Mayoral Hopeful. And as well at 11, we're going to have Jacob Crawford from WeCopWatch.org. So I'm your host tonight, Eric, and with me tonight, as always, I have Adam and Scott. How you guys going?
Good. How's Eric doing?
Oh, I'm here.
I try to do good all the time.
So before the show, we were talking. I asked if anybody had seen this film. So I don't know if you guys have ever seen the film The House I Live In. Adam, have you seen it?
It sounds slightly familiar. Can you give me a rundown?
So I just saw it on Netflix earlier today. So if anybody has Netflix, it's on live streaming or it's on instant play right now. It's a really good documentary about how the war on drugs is total BS and the prison industrial complex in general. So it's a really good view if any of you have Netflix, and check it out.
I will have to watch that.
Somebody's looping back through.
Yeah, that was definitely me. Sorry.
So, man, there's been a lot of stuff going on this week, and newsfeed, actually, almost the past couple days, I've seen over and over and over again about the guy who got arrested while filming police, and then when he got arrested, his dog got loose, and the cops ended up shooting the dog right in front of the guy.
Yeah, that was... I watched that video right when it came out. That was about the most ridiculous video I've seen in a long time, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like everybody talks about that, but I really struggle with it. I'm a pet owner. I have four-legged members of my family, and it was so disturbing. But I tried to look at the the good things to come out of it, and just like some of the reactions that I was seeing, I think that single incident is going to wake up a lot of people. And I think that, it was absolutely tragic. This guy watched his best friend murdered right in front of him, and the guy was in handcuffs. There's nothing he could do, and you could hear him yelling for his dog. And I think that there's a lot of people that are going to see that video, and they're going to wake up, and they're going to see the police state, and they're going to see what's going on around the country. And I really, as unfortunate as it is, I think that it's going to help the movement.
Yeah, I think so too. We week after week are always talking about abuses against people, but for some reason, abuse against a helpless animal ends up hitting a nerve a lot more than an innocent person dying, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, even this week I saw that was the second dog that I saw an article that, you know, the second dog that was killed, and I think there was 2 more that were, you know, cops shooting cats and kittens. Like, I don't like cats, but, you know, I don't want to shoot them. Like, it's unbelievable. And I looked up, man, I think it was a couple months ago, I looked it up, and I think there was like 250,000 domesticated, you know, animals, dogs or cats or, you know, parrots or whatever people have, where I think it's 250,000 are killed every year.
Yeah, and how many police have ever been killed by a dog?
0.
Yeah, last I checked, it was 0.
Yeah, so, 0. Still 0. Holding steady.
It's ridiculous. These guys are supposed to be like the tough guys and all that stuff, but they can't handle a frickin' dog. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, if you're afraid of a dog, I don't think you should be a police officer.
I don't think anybody should be a police officer. That's just me, though.
I almost agree with that. Yeah.
Not in the state that it's in right now.
Yeah. Yeah. The one thing I did notice, though, how you mentioned the fact of waking people up. I know the CopBlock Radio Show Facebook page and at least my CopBlock page for Spokane CopBlock has been pretty slow the last week, and then this video came out and tons of likes out of nowhere. So I think you're correct with the waking people up. We're getting attention, and they're starting to look for us. Yeah,
I talked to, I think I was talking to you, Eric. Today I got a chance to listen to Line of Fire Radio that's on, you know, we took their time slot. They're on Saturday nights, and the producers can probably verify it. It was, you know, I was listening this afternoon, and there was a guy that called in. I think he was from, like, freaking England. And, you know, he just was looking up police accountability, cop block, and he found the show. It's like, you don't really think about, you know, how far out you're reaching until you have that person that's way out there on the end. And the guy ended up calling into Line of Fire Radio and talked to the guys, and he was like, yeah, you know, I'm from England. And he started talking about how they had, you know, they don't have weapons anymore. They don't have guns. They don't have the opportunity to protect themselves. But it was really cool to, you know, hear him saying that through, you know, what we're doing and what FPRN's doing, you know, we reached that far. You know, I mean, everybody says, oh, it's the World Wide Web, but you don't really make that connection until somebody, like, really points it out. And here's a dude from England that's like, yo, you guys are rocking it. Keep it up.
Yeah, there's somebody posted on the CopBlock Radio Show's Facebook page from England a video he was taking pictures or something, and the cops are freaking out over it. So he probably can't call in right now, considering it's like almost 4 a.m. there. So, but yeah, I was surprised that somebody from England posted directly onto our Facebook page. That's really cool. So I think Adam actually had audio queued up of the topic that we were talking about before. I think it's number 3. If producers
I believe so. I think that's the clip of the audio from that shooting. Yeah.
I didn't clear out the top. Fuck, you can't tell both of them was on? I thought only one was on. What?
What you talking about? They got in an argument with what? I don't know, he left something in the car.
The stove?
Yeah.
You rent the galley?
Oh, he went the dogs in.
They're clearing it. He's still blasting me. He's like, man,
They let the dogs in?
They took a dog in.
I don't think there's no one else in there.
yeah, but they always check. Like, you gotta get the other guy down.
That's
Look
cool.
at that good. This dude. Like, is this recording? Isn't that
Look at it.
That's what I'm playing, like something like
I'm waiting for something.
I can't hear shit because
Yeah.
Preach on.
he's gonna get to the house. This guy got
Oh shit, this is crazy.
Look at that, they're staring at him. They're still staring at him too. This is difficult. Like they're still staring at him. Oh, look at this guy! Look at this guy! Look at this guy with this. Oh, he lives there. Got the dog on.
Like, it's recording up there.
Look, they're looking at him.
He's giving a bravo. I'd hate to be an officer right now.
No, they're talking.
Why ain't there no black cops?
Here? Oh, he's gonna get him. He's gonna get him.
Oh shit, he's coming, he's coming, he's coming.
He's gonna throw his ass in the car.
He got
The
the
dog's there. Watch out, he's fight it.
You heard what he said? He said, why is there no black cops on Hawkins?
Hey, you better, if you see that, you better. Oh shit, dog.
Yeah, the dog. It's like he's trying to jump out too. Look. Oh shit. Hey, watch it. Watch it. Yeah, that dog. Hey, that dog. Get back, dude. Get back. He's gonna miss. Shot. Shot the dog. Man, he was a ghost.
So yeah, I know that audio was a little long, but it was kind of weird. The statement. Did you guys see the statement that the police put out later?
Yeah, I read it briefly. Do you want to go over? I have the guy's, his cell phone number and his email address if anybody's looking for that, and to let him know how you feel.
Oh, the cop?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw. I don't have it in front of me. If you, but yeah, the cop said that they were arresting him because he was playing his music too loud.
Which is not an arrestable offense.
Not last I checked. It's just a citation, right?
Yeah, it should be. And he was completely cooperative. The guy. It sounded to me like he had a history of. I think that he already had a lawsuit against the city for harassment.
Yeah, for the same thing, for recording what was going on.
Right. But there's no war on cameras. But there's no war on cameras.
So you have the contact information for the police officer that put out the statement?
Yeah, man.
The police officer that shot the dog.
The guy's name was Lieutenant Scott Swain. This is the dude that, that pulled the trigger. He was the guy that kind of comes up later. He's like really the last one to get there. The other two officers are, holding that guy. And this guy comes walking up and, the dog got out of the car, and the owner didn't have the opportunity to put the dog back in the car, and the guy,
Yeah, he's getting drug away by the police.
Right. If you guys want to call him, his phone number is 310-345-2348, and his email is kwsain@cityofhawthorne. Hawthorne is HAWTHORNE.org. So, hey, just, he's a public servant. His information is public knowledge, and, hey, that's just how it is. Let him know how you feel. And the producer, yeah, I do know that the dog got out of the car. He put the dog away originally, but, whenever he was being arrested for, a non-arrestable offense, the dog got out. And, you can see in the video, it's pretty clear what happened.
Well, it looks like the officers they're not being the most gentlest to him either about it. I mean, he was fully cooperating, and they looked like they were tugging him around pretty hard, and then the dog got upset, so... At least that's what it looked like when I watched the video.
I'm sure that, there'll be an investigation, Internal Affairs will, they'll do the right thing. They'll do their jobs and...
Investigate themselves, find nothing wrong.
Yes.
Yeah, and of course he's discharging his weapon 4 times in a rural area.
With many people
not a rural area, it's an urban area.
Yeah, in an urban area. And there's obviously... people standing around, one thing, if you look at it, there's police vehicles there, but there's no perimeter. They're just like pretty much stopped in the middle of the roadway, and it looks to me like the cars are all facing one direction. And the guy, he didn't even walk past any police cars to, from the video that I saw. He was just another bystander, just like the people that were standing there of the video, that actually captured this dog being murdered in the streets.
Yeah, I mean, he's... like you said, he already has the lawsuit going against him for violating his rights and previously for what seems to be recording police as well. So moving on, we seem to talk about Albuquerque just about every week at this point. everything's going down there. So if we can play clip number 2.
Albuquerque police have been hit with another excessive force lawsuit, this one filed by the family of a man who died after officers tased him nearly 2 years ago. News 13's David Romero has more on that from the Newsplex. David?
Dick, at the time, the Office of the Medical Investigator ruled the cause of death as undetermined. But the family of Jerry Perea says his death is due to lack of police training and use of excessive force.
The lawsuit filed yesterday concerns what happened March 21st, 2011. Albuquerque police working a domestic violence call near 4th and Candelaria were approached by 38-year-old Jerry Perea rolling up on his bike. Police say he attacked them with a crucifix. Officers used a taser to bring him under control, but Perea died on the way to the hospital.
My son never bothered nobody. Never. He never bothered anybody. Whatever he did was to himself.
His family tells us they're suing because police were wrong to use the taser against him, alleging civil rights violations and poor training. In 2011, the Office of the Medical Investigator said there were other factors. OMI said Perea was on meth. They also say he was obese with an enlarged heart.
And then if there was any kind of restraint or physical engagement with law enforcement or medical personnel, that will also stress your body.
But Perea's family doesn't agree with the findings of OMI, including the meth in his system.
He never did do meth. He used to do other drugs, but we never knew of him doing meth, never.
Why now? Why 2 years later is this lawsuit coming out?
Well, we started immediately, but it's taken this long.
The family also says they're filing this lawsuit to keep other people from going through what they've experienced.
I want justice done for my son. I want the city to admit that they murdered my son. They murdered him.
The family is seeking compensatory and punitive damages as well as recovering attorney's fees. Now, we contacted the city attorney's office, but they told us it's too early to comment on the case. Dick, back to you.
Okay, David, this new suit comes on the heels of last week's 10.3.
So there's been an update to this case, and the district attorney has pretty much dropped any criminal actions against the officers involved, though the lawsuit is still ongoing. At this point, we hear these stories all the time about tasers ended up killing people. At this point, can we consider using a taser using deadly force? Because there's no way for the cops to know the health status of the person they're engaging with, and you might as well just assume that it's going to kill them.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, in some cities or some states, you know, you have to be licensed or you have to be permitted to carry a taser. You know, there's places where you can't even carry pepper spray, and there's so many people who have been, you know, hurt or seriously hurt by tasers, and it's almost like you want someone to be tased just because you know the police are going to kill them if they don't. But now, like, where do you go from here? You know, there's too many people that are dying, and there's too many cops that are getting away with killing people.
Yeah, and when have you ever seen them be held accountable for the results that they inflict on others?
It'll start soon, I hope. I'm not holding my breath.
Probably not. No, they're constantly claiming that it's not a lethal weapon, though. From just a quick Google search, according to Amnesty International, there have been 351 people in the United States that have died from tasers, and that's between 2001 and 2008. And then another, from this particular write-up, have another 187 documented deaths in the United States. So that's a total of 538 people who have died from tasers in the United States from 2001 through 2012.
Yeah, there was, if you remember, you know, every week, you know, whenever we do all of our show prep, there's so many things going on. I'm sitting here thinking, and there was an article that I posted up. It came from Russia Today, and it was about the FBI, and it was from 1993 to 2001. FBI agents fatally shot 70 people and wounded about approximately 80 other people. So here you have 150 people who were shot by federal agents, and every single one of them was, deemed, we investigated ourselves and everything was justified. Now, there was an incident where this family was paid $1.3 million, but he was wrongfully identified as a bank robber. Wrongfully. It wasn't him, and they still shot him, and they still said it was okay. These non-third party investigations are just absolutely absurd, and it's like going to clown court.
Yeah, you expect them to hold themselves accountable? Yeah, I got a bridge to sell you on that.
They're not in the business of holding themselves accountable.
No, they're in the business of trying to get away with whatever they can. I'm looking at this list that this particular blog has compiled of the 187 additional that Amnesty International's list cuts off, and I'm amazed at some of the ages of these people. You think it would be the very old that would be more susceptible to dying from taser, but most of these people are under the age of 40, and a lot of them, I'm looking at one right here, he's 17 and was killed by a taser. So it's not like these are, people late in life who are susceptible to heart attack and stuff like that. I mean, these are 28, 33, 24, 23, 26. These are young people, so I have no doubt that at this point the taser is not a non-lethal weapon by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, then comes the argument again. I fully agree with you that they should be considered a weapon of a deadly weapon. But the argument still comes that basically they justify all the time that anything can be considered a deadly weapon. So, I mean, when you go about that sense, there can be an argument to that. But
I know, yeah, when it comes to their side, everything's a deadly weapon. But if you're a civilian, nothing's a deadly weapon unless it's like a gun or something. It's ridiculous. Which is funny that this brings up that they completely overblow what specific actions qualify as. Did you see the article that some lady is being charged with assault on an officer for kissing him on the nose?
Yeah, is that the lady that was drinking?
I think so.
Good for
She's
her.
like 62.
Yeah, she's an old lush.
Wow.
She's probably like a flower child or something.
Yeah, it's like, really? A kiss on the nose, that is assault on a police officer.
Right. What about whenever you grab someone and tell them to move as a police officer? You physically grab a hold of their arm and physically move them. Is that not the same thing or worse? No, they don't, it doesn't apply.
No, you can't make yourself look bad. Come on now.
So I get in the way, my logic just, always gets in the way of, my rationality just overcomes me.
Yeah, the tinfoil on your chest, for some reason, as we say every time, that badges don't grant extra rights, yet they think for some reason they do. When whatever they do, if a civilian did it, then they would be arrested for it, yet they're free to do whatever they want, and in front of other cops or tons of witnesses, and they don't get any ramifications at all.
Well, we'll just order up a whole bunch of those shiny badges and start wearing them around doing stuff and be like, oh, what? We can do it. We have a shiny badge.
I'm not wearing the combat boots, and I'm not wearing the funny belt. I don't need a bat belt.
Yeah, those shiny badges, that apparently they're such a hit at Forkfest that they are, he's going through a second run of, they did 1 through 100. Now they're going to do 100 through 500, I think. And then badge number 420 is going to be auctioned off for Rich Paul's
nice
defense fund, I guess.
I can't believe that the word lacrosse is on the list. I'm sitting here looking at the list. Lacrosse? Like the boot company or the sport that was invented by Native Americans. Exxon Shell also won there.
I'm pretty sure presidential motorcade is on there, but you know.
There's a lot of weird stuff on that list.
I can't get over this. Sniper, police. We've got it down. If we just keep talking about, the police force, NSA's, they're probably getting paid overtime down in Fort Meade.
No,
yeah,
I'm sure
I think
listened to every episode we've ever done.
I think I was talking to Scott this week. They probably, at this point, because of everybody using so many keywords, they probably now have a filter that takes out stuff that is too keyword dense.
Like if I talk about faxing you some porno, that would be too many.
Burger. Oh, beef. Sorry.
Beef.
I totally screwed that up.
You did. That was awesome.
Beef.
So we need a new word. We got to pick one. We have one for the rest of the show.
I say porno.
Just porno?
Yeah. Some freedom porno.
Freedom porno. Okay, that's better.
I'm like, now, I never should have pulled this up because now I'm like, just infatuated with some of these. Blackbird, Gray Data, Unclassified, Orthodox, Alicia.
I had to shut mine because I just kept staring at it.
Yeah, I gotta get out of there. I gotta go back to the show prep.
So, I think we can hit this quickly. Out of Ohio, did you see the fake drug checkpoints?
Yes, love it.
Funny to me. I thought it was hilarious. God. Like, well, they're just stupid, aren't they?
Yeah, so to give a little background on this who haven't seen it, the DUI checkpoints that cops seem to be setting up everywhere, aka, amendment violators or unconstitutional checkpoints or show us your paper checkpoints. So in Ohio, they've started setting up fake ones where they, if you've ever driven through one, they have a sign before the checkpoint saying that there's a checkpoint coming up. Well, in this case, they put all that stuff out, but there's no checkpoint. They just put the sign out, and then they see if anybody turns away before they get to where the checkpoint should have been, and are going after people who turn away suspiciously, I guess.
Yeah, it was kind of like gotcha, and then we're going to watch you and see if you panic or not, and if you panic and get scared, we're going to pull you over.
No, I'm not sure about the laws in Ohio, but I know that, in most places, just simply turning around, if you are making, a lawful move, that is not enough for probable cause. Now, if you would make an illegal U-turn, you can get pulled over, but, if you're going down the road and you see that there's, signs or there are, a checkpoint ahead and you make a legal U-turn, they can't pull you over just because you, in their mind, tried to evade a violation of your Fourth Amendment.
Yeah, and now, so on the sign they're saying that there's like drug dogs and all that stuff that they're going to go around your car, blah, 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 blah. But it kind of sounds like with this, I know in some states you have to have the option to be able to turn away. You have to put a sign before a turn so you could actually avoid the checkpoint. But in this case, since it's not an actual checkpoint, they're calling that, well, it's not an actual checkpoint, so the rules don't apply for a checkpoint because it's not a checkpoint. It's just a sign. So
they're trying to outsmart the people who know what they're doing.
Yeah, go figure. All right, so we have to head to break. After the break, I believe we have George Donnelly from Shield Mutual to talk with us. So stick through the break. You're listening to the Cop Block Radio Show on FPRN.
In 1997, a high school shooting was stopped by a vice principal with a gun. In 1998, a middle school shooting was ended by a neighbor with a gun. In 2002, a terrorist attack was stopped by a school guard and a teacher with a gun. After September 11th, pilots began carrying guns to protect their passengers. Let's give our schools and teachers the same option. Sign the petition at defendschools.com.
Hi, I'm Trevor Moore. Due to the recent revelations that in order to fight terrorism, the NSA has been using a secret court order to spy on every single Verizon and AT&T customer, Americans have become outraged and concerned about their rights to privacy. But along with that concern comes a feeling of hopelessness. I mean, what can we do? Vote in new leaders? Well, the problem is that during an election, each candidate pretends to not be an asshole. Then when they get the job, they reveal that they've actually been a complete asshole this entire time. No, elections are of no use. The only way to fight back against our country's excessive wiretapping and data mining is to make it irrelevant. That's why we're launching Operation Everyone Talk Like a Terrorist all the time. If we all openly discuss terrorist plots in each of our phone conversations, then eavesdropping on those phone conversations becomes pointless. It's simple. We just need to work it into our daily vernacular. For example, instead of saying, "I love you," you could describe a terror attack. The larger the scale, the more you love the person.
Hi, Mom. I just got out of school. Can you pick me up?
I'll be there in 15 minutes. I'm gonna use a truck bomb to blow up the Brooklyn Bridge.
I'm mailing anthrax to Pierce Morgan.
Or nonsense about God's will being great could mean affirmative.
Hey man, they have a 7:30 show, and do you think you can make it in time?
God is merciful and his love is unchanging. Did you already get me a ticket?
And those are just a few examples. You can make up your own. Have fun with it. But it's time for us to stand up and protect our rights. Because those assholes aren't going to.
Nothing is more American than Diamond Gusset jeans. 100% American made since 1987. Soft and broken in from the start, yet more rugged and durable than any jean you've ever worn. Have you ever experienced missized jeans from China? Well, you won't with Diamond Gusset. Every pair is crafted to fit exactly the same and always feel like they were custom made. Need a 35, 37, or 39 waist? How about a 31 inseam? We keep all sizes in stock for the fit you need. Looking for a relaxed fit, slim fit, regular fit, boot cut, or straight leg? We got you covered. Buy the world's best fitting jeans at gusset.com or call 1-888-8GUSSET. Get free Gusset targets for the next time you go to the shooting range with the purchase of their new Ranger jean. Use code COMFORT when ordering to receive free shipping on all Gusset orders at gusset.com. That's gusset.com to get only the best all-American jeans.
Hello, fellow patriots. This is Joseph Nazari, Director of Training Operations with Line of Fire, LLC, Professional Firearms Training Group, located in Las Vegas, Nevada. The fact that you're listening to this show is evidence to me that you are a true patriot and you do value your freedoms. As all patriots know, with freedom comes responsibility, and if you own a firearm, training should be an integral part of your personal defense profile. If you're considering quality firearms training, Line of Fire LLC should be your first choice. We teach all types of firearms training for all types of individuals, from the novice to the most advanced shooters. At Line of Fire LLC, we have a course for you. Please, feel free to call us today at 702-242-8288. We look forward to speaking with you soon. Once again, that's Line of Fire LLC, 702-242-8288.
All operators are busy.
Oh God, please help me. He's got a knife.
You have reached the 911 emergency service. All operators are busy. Stay on the line for the next available emergency operator. You have reached the 911 emergency service. All operators are busy. Please stay on.
911 operator, what's your emergency, please? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Last year in the United States, thousands and thousands of 911 calls went unanswered. And if you call from a cell phone, there's no way to pinpoint where you are. Yet politicians like Dianne Feinstein call for more gun control. We have one question. Why do these politicians have armed bodyguards? Can't they just call 911?
Thanks for listening to FPRN. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter. You can listen live at www.fprnradio.com.
of my life. Show me how the gods give.
Please, Lord, forgive me, for I know not what I do. I am only a man.
And welcome back to the CopBlock Radio Show. You're listening to FPRN and hopefully syndicated across the interwebs or in podcast form. You can check that out after the show on FPRN's website in the archives page. And I also post that over on CopBlock.org as well. And you can download it, share it, burn it to CD, give it to friends. You can do whatever you want with it. That's cool with us. I'd like to thank our newest sponsor, Diamond Gusset. They make 100% American jeans. It's made in the United States, and the materials come from the United States. And if you want to advertise on the CopBlock Radio Show or FPRN in general, be sure to go over to FPRNradio.com. And there's a tab for advertisers, and you can hit them up, and that's what kind of makes this show, these shows possible. So we appreciate the support. So with me tonight, I have Adam and Scott, and we should have on George Donnelly from Shield Mutual.
Hi, guys.
Hey, George. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Oh man, we're doing awesome. Thanks for coming on. We really appreciate you, taking time away from Shield Mutual to, talk to us about, you guys provide a service that, we preach about these things to the people who listen to the CopBlock Radio Show, about the importance of, protecting yourself, as you're being active and you're trying to spread the message and, in essence, do the right thing. And it's very important to us that our listeners have that sort of protection that it sounds like, by looking at your website and seeing some of the work that you've done, that you're willing to provide to our listeners. So you want to tell everybody, what exactly Shield Mutual is and how you're affiliated with them and, what services they provide.
Sure. Shield Mutual is the Agara's first defense agency. Those of us who are familiar with agorist theory, the work of Rothbard, Konkin, and whatnot, the idea is that as we move to a more libertarian society, we're going to compete with the state for its, the things it traditionally does. And one of those things is that we will have private defense agencies that will protect people in our community from state aggression. And we're not at the point yet where we can really send out armed patrols. It doesn't really make sense yet. But we can use nonviolence, public relations, leadership, fundraising, and all this other kind of, the whole array of nonviolent tools to protect people in our community when they are attacked by police and bureaucrats. And that's what we do at Shield Mutual. I'm the founder of Shield Mutual and, the principal. And, I'm responsible for everything we do. And, we protect the Agora.
Now, you guys are, it sounds to me like you're relatively new, but you guys have already, it sounds like you guys are spreading. I saw that you guys kind of hit a milestone where you have, you're getting more and more people that you're actually, I don't know if you want to use the term insuring, but defending. And you guys are already, people are already using your services, right?
That's right. Yeah, I've been doing this since 2008 when Ian Freeman of Free Talk Live was arrested and threatened with 93 days in jail. That was the first time I did this for somebody. And I've done it several times over the years for Sam Dotson, Pete Eyre, Meg McLean, and a whole bunch of people. And 2 years ago, I started using the Shield Mutual name. And we just reached the milestone of having more than 40 customers that we have the great honor of serving.
Now, I'm trying to think back here, and I know that you guys were the ones that set everything up to get, was it Adam and NA, Poe, that were both using your services, or what did you guys do for them to set everything up?
Well, Adam Kokesh has been our customer for a while, since almost a year now. Poe is not our customer, so we didn't really do very much for him. Although we offered to do some pro bono work, but he decided he didn't want to raise any more money. But in the case of Adam, when he was arrested May 18th in Philadelphia while speaking to a permitted cannabis legalization rally, he was arrested, and so we immediately created a website to serve as a central point of contact for people to know what was going on. We created Facebook and Twitter campaigns to, promote his freedom. We issued press releases. We organized a call flood for the Monday after he was arrested, and then later in the week, in 11 hours flat, with the help of about 150 donors, we raised more than $6,000 for his legal defense fund.
Yeah, you guys, I couldn't believe how quickly you guys had actually, raised funds like that. I'm, watching and listening in, and I was, part of another radio show at the time, and we had we had one of the guys come on and talk about, how we were trying to raise funds, and they brought up how quickly you guys were able to raise funds for Adam. I mean, it just seemed like you just turned it around so fast, which was amazing. And that's, that's one of the things that I'm sure helped get him back out to where he was breathing air and sleeping in his own bed at night as fast as it did.
Yeah, because I mean the people inside are the bureaucrats and the jailers and the prosecutor and the judge. They watch this stuff. They want to know what's going on, and they're reading the stuff that we all post and watch in our videos. So they were aware of what was going on, and of course the call flood that we organized for the Monday after he was arrested. Of course, that left no doubt that there were thousands and thousands of people who were watching and were very concerned and had very specific demands. So I think, Adam definitely showed, some real guts there to be able to say that, he was just gonna stay in jail. He wasn't gonna accept their BS, release conditions and whatnot. But I think he was strong on the inside. But I think it helped that we were out there, all of us on the outside, being strong for him as well.
One thing that we're sitting here talking back and forth, and one thing is we love how you guys are you're an agorist company. Now we have people in our listening audience who are obviously of the same mindset. Now, do you guys this is a service that you would charge for? I mean, do you guys accept things like Bitcoin, or would you accept silver, or and what do you guys charge? Like, is it like a monthly or a yearly thing? And how much are people looking at to have you guys help them out?
Sure. For individual coverage for 1 year, it's $50. So basically, this is under the couch cushions money. It's less than a latte per month. It's very reasonable. And we accept Bitcoin, Litecoin, Shire Silver, and PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, Discover, American Express.
You guys got all the bases covered, except for the plants that grow in the dirt. But it's awesome that you guys are willing to and I mean, you're kind of putting yourself out there a little bit by just saying like, look, we're completely agorist company, but accepting those things really shows to us and to our listeners how in tune and how much what the movement means to you guys too. So hopefully that'll help them to understand and appreciate what it is that you're doing. So one thing that we kind of obviously now we're getting into our second hour, but we forgot to give the phone number out again. We're horrible at promoting our other shows, and we're also horrible at giving the phone number out now that we have gone live. So if anybody wants to call in and talk, the phone number is 567-314-9296, or you can Skype in at FPRN Radio Live. So if you guys have any questions, and hopefully that bringing you on here is going to get you some more business. Now, where all can we find you at on Facebook? And you talked about Facebook, Twitter, things like that. Where can we find the information that you guys have?
Our website is at shieldmutual.com, and that's the best place to get information about the service. You can sign up at shieldmutual.com/join. Our About page is pretty informative about, how the service operates and what we've done for previous customers. As well, I think that, your listeners will be interested to hear that we have a schedule of deliverables that will be paid for out of our profits and that will basically accrue to our cause in a general sense as we grow. So, this is a protection service. It's an agorist enterprise, but it's also a vector for advancing the stateless society, the libertarian evolution that we're all working for. And you can check out our vision at shieldmutual.com/vision. And perhaps one of the more interesting, we have, dozens of these deliverables, but I think my favorite is when we reach 50,000 customers, we're going to initiate a pilot program to evolve an entire small nation into a stateless society.
That's like shit just got real. Do you have how far are you guys, in thinking about what you're, that was new to me. I didn't hear anything about that. You got any more info on that? That's, obviously what everybody is trying to accomplish, but where do you guys, can you tell us a little bit about this? Obviously it's a dream,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's still speculative at this point, but the strategy is very well grounded in basic principles like collective bargaining. As our customer base grows, and they don't have to be our customers. They could be customers of competitors, and we can cooperate with our competitors to have greater strength among us. But as we grow, our collective bargaining power is going to grow, and our resources are going to grow, and so we're going to be able to do all kinds of interesting things that are going to concretely advance our cause, our vision, and put it into practice in the real world. And our schedule of deliverables has everything from the Agora.io Agorist Unconference that happens online once a year, to free ebooks, to financial sponsorship of other Agorist events and organizations, 25-city at 5,000 customers, a 25-city North American seminar circuit teaching the nuts and bolts of dual power, counter-economics, agorism, and other topics. The purpose to build a foundation of conscious practitioners who can go out and, in the short term, multiply their number by a factor of 10.
So, now, were you, did you get a chance to go? I'm not sure, if you got a chance to go to different events or festivals, or in Pennsylvania they just had the Libertarian Party, they just had Pork Fest, the Police Accountability Summit is coming up down in Austin. Are you doing any traveling to where people could come out and meet you and hear you speak or anything like that?
Not right now. At this time, I'm publishing weekly or every couple of weeks a video update on our website, so that's the best place to see me speak. One of the main features of the service is that we're keeping basically everything offshore, including me. I'm offshore too. So that makes it considerably harder to, even what Shield Mutual does really is not even really illegal, in my opinion. But, they can still try to shut us down. And since we're offshore, it's going to be considerably harder to do that.
Okay.
From the sounds of it, this isn't just a type of service that would be attractive to, say, activists who kind of are in the line of fire, so to say, a little more often. This kind of sounds like the general agorist who provides a service without the government's permission to do so. Yeah, nowadays you need a license to do just about everything, even down to cutting somebody's hair for money. So this service sounds even beyond just the activist, just the general person who's trying to stay outside of the system as best they can.
Oh, absolutely. This is really for everybody, because even Friends that I have who are just, family people, but they have libertarian convictions, and they don't know a lot of libertarians in their area. And so you never know when, a no-knock warrant is going to be served in the wrong place, or, cops are going to decide to harass you, or you're going to decide to start videotaping and they decide to put you up on some kind of trumped-up charges. Or perhaps you just want to support an organization that, has a plan like ours for getting us to the stateless society. Libertarians are very spread out. There aren't many places where there's a critical mass. And so through Shield Mutual, we can all network on really a global basis so that people anywhere can help support you, no matter where you are, no matter how alone you may feel, in the worst case. And, since it's for, under the couch cushion money, it's not, it's not really, it doesn't cost an arm and a leg. And, interestingly, we already have customers on 4 continents.
So, I can't believe how big you guys have gotten. So what if you're, the guy that's like me, or, some people that I know that is one of the best, procrastinators out there, and, something would happen to me, would my friends have the opportunity to say, hey, we want you to provide a service for our friend Scott, who's, got, black bag and NDAA'd, and, we don't know anything about him. Can you help us out? Is there some sort of, opportunity to, pay more money or to get that same service, in, a rushed fashion?
Yeah, definitely. The best idea is to sign up ahead of time, just so we have all your information on file, your headshot and, who you are, and so we're able to represent you in the best way. But, if that's not possible and, it's like an urgent situation or whatever, we can, for a flat fee, do the same thing. It's definitely going to be a whole lot more than $50. But, it's definitely a possibility.
Yeah. I mean, like the way that I'm thinking about it is, I was talking to the producers, I've been talking to the 2 co-hosts, and it's like, this is something that we're very interested in, but, there's other people who, like, say one of my friends were to, get NDAA'd or black bagged or arrested for something, like, as, a human, as a friend, I would want to do everything that I could to help that person to be free again as soon as possible. And I think that, you would be one of the sources that I would go to and say, look, like, I don't know exactly what I need to do, but you guys are good at what you do, and I want to, I want to financially back my friend. That's where I would come from it.
Mm-hmm. Sure. And, but the best thing definitely is to sign people up ahead of time. And we've put an incentive out there, for those of people who are already members. You can refer new members and earn a 10%, a one-time 10%, referral fee on that.
I think I can hear like all the guys in the back like secretly smiling, like everyone's going to be the first one to sign up, and they're going to be like, oh, you should just sign up under me. And am I right? Am I right, Eric?
Probably.
No, completely.
I know you guys have computers in front of you too, and this is not cool.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm looking right now. I'm tempted to fill it out right now.
You bastards. Adam, do you have any questions for George here?
I don't know about questions. I know that I researched into it when you said you were bringing them on, and I think the whole idea and what they're doing is pretty sweet stuff. As far as that, it's a great idea, and thank you for doing it.
Yeah, I think we talk about this often, that it's a goal is to find the counter service, if you will, to what the violent monopoly is offering or forcing down our throats, to make that service less useful or necessary. Not even necessary, but less acceptable.
Yeah, and we really have, an obligation to really test the limits of our own imagination and, to see what's really possible. I think just a year ago or a couple of years ago, if you would have said to somebody, "Hey, let's start a defense agency," that would have been like, "Whoa, we're way too early for that. That just sounds crazy talk." I mean, I thought the same thing, but I think that we can play with the ideas, and we have to fit the theory to our own, current situation, the reality we face now. And, if I was able to do that here with Shield Mutual, there are dozens more opportunities to do similar things with, other concepts, other theories, and other market needs that exist.
I think you guys captured one of the biggest things that was missing from another organization is that you have the deliverable schedule of when we have this much support, this is what we can provide. Once we have this much support, this is what we can provide. Because the others are kind of a shot in the dark. Like, well, if I'm signing up right now and there's only 3 of us, that's not going to get us very far should something happen. We don't have a whole lot of resources, that type of thing. So the realistic deliverable schedule that you guys have included really kind of solidifies what you can expect at what point in the evolution of your organization, if you will.
Yeah, that's definitely the idea. It's a private company. It's for profit, obviously, but the idea is also to, I'm not particularly Christian, but in the Bible it says, give and ye shall receive, and that's the idea here, that you have to give in order to receive, and this is our way of giving, and because really, I'm not doing Shield Mutual in order to become a big fat cat or whatever. I'm doing it to advance the evolution that we are all looking for, to a more peaceful, prosperous society.
Scott, you have anything left?
Yeah, sorry, I was, as we're, broadcasting live, I'm trying to, follow through on the chat here and just see if there was any questions from the chat room. And one of the things, the guys are, asking about, what they should do, and people talk about lawyers, and the service that you provide, it's so much, you're still being proactive, but getting a lawyer on retainer is so difficult. If you don't have that money, and like you talked about earlier, how this is change under the couch cushion, $50 for an entire year, a lawyer is going to be $500, anybody who's worth anything, that's 10 years of service. And then once, you were saying that you actually will set up, some sort of like a fund me account or something like that.
Yeah, if we have a customer that's in trouble and that we're helping, and if the customer or their local representative or whatever would like us to raise funds, we will aggressively raise funds from the community. But at this time, we're not, that's not, the cost of a lawyer isn't included in the service per se, because obviously we would have to raise our prices considerably. And what's more, I don't, at this early stage, I don't want to sit on people's money in a big way, because you never know, if that could be seized.
Yeah, no, and that's a very good point. But that's what we're looking for. Someone who can, you guys will go out there and set up, some way to get money from the rest of the community to help you pay for. Most of the people who are, it feels like, in this movement are not the people who have, all the money in the world that they can go out and, get a lawyer on retainer or, bail themselves out of jail. And that's, sometimes half of the battle is just getting bail money to get yourself out of the cage that you've been put in. So,
exactly.
Is there anything, we got about 30 seconds here. Is there anything else you want to say here before we hit the break?
Well, I just encourage all the listeners to check out shieldmutual.com and, give us a try. I mean, it doesn't cost a lot. We have already proven the value of the service. So, thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate this opportunity to speak with you guys and with your listeners. It's been a real pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much, George. We really appreciate it, and we will definitely be talking to you very soon. Thanks for coming on.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
so
Go ahead, Eric.
So after the break, we have Juan Santana from CopBlock Miami, and he's also running for mayor. So that's going to be an interesting conversation. So stick with us through the break. You're listening to the CopBlock Radio Show on FPRN.
Mr. President, members of Congress, you've been making a lot of noise about taking our guns away. But you might want to review history. 1835, Gonzales, Texas Territory. The authorities wanted to confiscate the big gun that protected that colony. You know what the people said? Come and take it. Because they were willing to fight for their freedom and their guns. So are we.
Come and take it if you want it. Come and take it if you think you can. Come and take it, but I warn you, you'll have to pry it from my cold dead hands. We want the freedom that God gave us, so you best not cross that line. If you want this gun, you gotta come through us and take it.
One shot at a time. Just like Gonzales, we're keeping our guns.
Hello, fellow patriots. This is Joseph Nazari, Director of Training Operations with Line of Fire LLC, Professional Firearms Training Group, located in Las Vegas, Nevada. The fact that you're listening to this show is evidence to me that you are a true patriot and you do value your freedoms. As all patriots know, with freedom comes responsibility, and if you own a firearm, training should be an integral part of your personal defense profile. If you're considering quality firearms training, Line of Fire LLC should be your first choice. We teach all types of firearms training for all types of individuals, from the novice to the most advanced shooters. At Line of Fire LLC, we have a course for you. Please, feel free to call us today at 702-242-8288. We look forward to speaking with you soon. Once again, that's Line of Fire LLC, 702-242-8288.
In every age, a technology is created that upends the foundations of society. The wheel, the printing press, the internet. Now, in a world sliding into financial chaos, a new technology is changing the way monetary systems work around the world. It is called Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a new form of money, controlled not by banks, governments, or corporations, but through mutual commerce between free individuals. To learn more, visit weusecoins.com.
Talk about a wake-up call. I was paying for all the doctor's visits, insurance premiums, and medical costs out of pocket. All these expenses were keeping me from living the carefree lifestyle that I wanted. Then the government told me about Obamacare. Now with Obamacare, I don't worry about my health care. I eat whatever I want, whenever I want. I get all my prescription drugs for free, and there's no more coverage gap. I no longer need to worry about pre-existing conditions. We can see any doctor whenever we want for any reason, and so can everyone else.
Obamacare is not for everyone, like Congressman. If you are already healthy, do not use Obamacare, as you will see your premiums go up. If you are a sick person, do not use Obamacare, as you will see your premiums go up. Many people on Obamacare may experience longer wait times and fewer doctors, and denial of your treatment of choice. If you are faced with a healthcare situation, you may be denied treatment through government rationing.
Obamacare even covers my kids up to age 26.
If you experience a recession lasting more than 4 years, stop taking Obamacare and contact a travel agent to move to the Bahamas or New Zealand.
And the best thing is that Obamacare is free.
Obamacare is not free. Obamacare will increase the national debt by $863 billion in 10 years. Your taxes will go up $569 billion by 2019. If you see a major jump in your premiums, you should opt out of Obamacare immediately. Opting out of Obamacare is illegal and will incur major. You are a union member who received a special waiver from the Obama administration. Obama is not responsible for the negative effects on the economy, your pocketbook, your freedoms, or your health.
Obama solved all my problems.
Obamacare. Live your carefree lifestyle.
Nothing is more American than Diamond Gusset jeans. 100% American made since 1987. Soft and broken in from the start, yet more rugged and durable than any jean you've ever worn. Have you ever experienced missized jeans from China? Well, you won't with Diamond Gusset. Every pair is crafted to fit exactly the same and always feel like they were custom made. Need a 35, 37, or 39 waist? How about a 31 inseam? We keep all sizes in stock for the fit you need. Looking for a relaxed fit, slim fit, regular fit, boot cut, or straight leg? We got you covered. Buy the world's best fitting jeans at gusset.com or call 1-888-8GUSSET. Get free Gusset targets for the next time you go to the shooting range with the purchase of their new Ranger jean. Use code COMFORT when ordering to receive free shipping on all Gusset orders at gusset.com. That's gusset.com to get only the best all-American jeans.
Thanks for listening to FPRN. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter. You can listen live at www.fprnradio.com.
Tensions are rising between police and those Occupy Wall Street
demonstrators.
Police in Oakland, California have been trying hard to scare off Occupy Wall Street to the City Hall.
Oakland police say nearly 1,000 demonstrators hit the streets of downtown Oakland in support of the Occupy Oakland movement.
So what you have now is a standoff with police. Let's try and set up that explosion here about what happened just a couple of minutes ago. We're going to roll the videotape.
I am Sergeant Faith, peace officer for the...
Okay, we're back, and thanks for staying with us. I think that we have our next guest on the line. Are you there with me?
Sorry, folks, we're having slight technical difficulties, so Scott's going to take the controls.
Oh, man, we're going to, get with no elevator music tonight.
Sorry, I lost my.
Hey, look who it is! I think that they started taking over the radio show down in Columbia, Maryland, and at Fort Meade. So I know that our next guest was on the line.
He's back.
And he's back.
Hello. Hey guys, how you doing?
Good. How are you, Juan? How you doing?
Yes, this is Juan.
How you doing, man?
What's going on, guys?
Oh no, I'm sorry, having some difficulties here with the connections.
No.
So Juan is what? You are running for mayor of? I don't want to mispronounce the name of your city there.
Hialeah.
Yeah. And also, what I hear you're helping out with Miami Cop Block.
Yeah, I'm helping out. We're kind of like 15 minutes from distance from each other. He's way down south in Homestead. I'm more north of Miami. He's more south of Miami. There's a lot of territory to cover. I've been cop blocking now for a while here in Hialeah. A lot of the videos have gone viral. The news media has picked up a lot of them here in Hialeah. You know, it's just showing the corruption and that these police officers don't have any more moral valors, you know, to stand up to their oath to the Constitution.
No, yeah, we do. We actually have one of the clips. I don't know if the producers got it queued up or not now with the connection issues we had. But we have one of the clips of the police officer stealing your license plates off your car. If we could play that real quick.
Yeah.
How we doing? Can I help you? Can I help you? No. Why are you stealing my tag? I'm not stealing. Then what are you doing touching my vehicle? That's my property. I'm taking the tag. Why are you taking the tag?
Because the tag has there's fees for it. There's no insurance.
I have insurance for the car, ma'am. Ma'am, you're stealing my tag. You're stealing my tag. And this is harassment again. I have insurance for the car. Ashley, give me my wallet. Ashley, give me my wallet because she says I have no insurance for the car. I have insurance for the car. Get Keith up. What's your name again? What's your name again?
1190 West 56th Street. And you have a routine system.
All right, that's pretty good there.
All right.
So this is
I have insurance for the car, so how you?
Oh, it's fine.
So we have in this video, it's obvious that the city there is obviously out to get you and harass you for what you've done from the videos you have showing of what they're doing.
Yeah, the media's picked up on it really well here because I'm running for mayor of Hialeah. My basis on running is transparency in government, which, as you can see, our government lacks that in all areas, in all parts of the United States. My second one is government accountability. There's too many things that these public officials that are here to serve us, they forgot that they're here to serve us. And my third one is common sense public service. If I'm showing that I have insurance for the vehicle, and she actually quoted the state statute that says when the vehicle is in operation, and by her still taking the tag of the vehicle, it's just plain harassment by the city.
Uh-oh, did we lose him?
Because I am using a very powerful...
we may have lost.
I think we lost everybody but me. Apparently everybody's gone.
I think you're right.
All right.
This is now the Scott and Kyle producer show.
I'm back. Oh, hey, we got another one. What's going on here?
Revolving hosts.
Who used too many NSA keywords? You need to knock that shit off.
No freedom porn.
No, there was no freedom porn faxes.
All right, so I think we got on.
Is Juan back?
I think so.
Okay.
He's working on it.
There we go.
I'm back.
Are you there?
On.
Yes, I'm here.
All right, right on.
All right, go ahead and finish what you were saying there. Sorry, we're having some connection problems.
This Skype thing's new for me. Well, back to what I was saying was that did you get the part when I was quoting the statue stuff?
Yeah, a little bit. Where you had said that she was talking about that it was in regards to a moving vehicle.
Yeah, I was not in operation of the vehicle at the time. I was not the owner of the vehicle. There's actually a local attorney, Fort Lauderdale, that even agreed with what I was saying on the video, that I was not in operation of the vehicle, so she has no entitlement to steal the tag. And that's when I started saying that she stole the tag. And I just got some news today, which is really interesting. I went and did a public record request about a week and a half ago. I went to City Hall and basically the chief of police, because I went there with a reporter, and the chief of police was on the phone with the deputy clerk and told the deputy clerk that they don't have the other 12 tags that she has stolen from other citizens here in Hialeah. And on the other channel that covered it, one of the news medias, the lady was showing the paper that she stole 12 other people's tags. So they're denying information for me to keep them accountable. It's just getting worse and worse. And I'm not gonna tolerate it. You know, down here at least. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get things started. You know, I'm trying to get people that are interested in doing cop block. What I started here in my neighborhood was basically, if you get pulled over by the police and you're in Hialeah, give me a call. I will come and I will film to make sure that we keep the police officers accountable. Just because you have a badge does not grant you extra rights.
So the lady who took your tag, you're saying the tags that she has taken from other vehicles, they don't know where they are?
Oh no! Basically, the local media was covering the story about about my tag being taken. Mm-hmm. She actually did this to 12 other individuals, and what I'm trying to show is that she's not interpreting the law correctly, you know, and you know I when she actually, if you watch the video, she actually quotes the subsector. I think it's 239 something, and you know, and plus like I said, the attorney agreed with what I said, and you know, I spoke to the assistant chief of police here in Hialeah yesterday. Me and him sat down. We have a history together. You know, he's a very respectful, very professional gentleman. But he basically told me dead in my face. He goes, until a judge tells us that what we're doing is wrong, we're going to keep doing it. And I'm like, okay, no problem. That's fine. So you're going to keep on violating people's rights, and you're going to basically make yourself invalid to say that you took an oath to the Constitution.
So what else has happened to you in regards to the police force in your area?
Well, there was actually a time that I got very down, you know, because I you know, this has not stopped. This has been going on. This is a fight that's been going on between me and the Hialeah Police Department for a good, maybe, I would say 8-9 years, okay? And there was a time that I just got tired of telling people what happened, you know, and then I was like, I know I'm not the only individual out there that this is happening to. And I prayed, and then I went online, and then I started doing some research, and I came across the organization CopBlockRadioShow, and I found out that there's a Miami chapter as well. It just wasn't very active at the time, but we're getting back into it. Me and the other gentleman, Travis, we're trying to get this movement back on again to keep these people accountable. And I've spoken to Carlos Miller. I seen him on your show. You guys did very great. He did very well. You know, I stand up for our First Amendment rights, because when we lose our First Amendment rights, like he said, you know, we're going to lose all the rest of them.
No, that's completely true. It was right there. I just lost it off the tip of the tongue there. I hate when that happens.
You want me to say something else? I can keep going.
Hey, Juan, you had talked about a little bit earlier about how there was, like, you know, all these other people that were having their plates taken. Have you done anything to reach out to those people? You know, put an ad on Craigslist?
I tried. I honestly, you know, I understand that listen, I know about Craigslist is a very powerful tool. Unfortunately, because I am in a big metropolitan, you know, city, you know, very populated city, you know, the only thing I can really do is, you know, use Facebook, you know, to try to reach people with the same mindset. Carlos Miller didn't mention this the last time, but he covered a story before mine came up about a local Hialeah resident here in Hialeah. You know, the Harlem Shake is a global movement, you know?
Yeah.
They're just, you know, people just trying to have fun and play the song. And there's a gentleman named Eric, I'm going to mispronounce his last name, Fredan. He was doing, if you look up Hialeah Harlem Shake gone wrong, it was literally about a mile from my house. They did this. I didn't know about it. I would have loved to gone. I would have loved to go, but I didn't know about it. The police actually stopped them and slammed the guy on the ground and took his phone away and tried to recover the footage that was in the phone. But Eric was super smart and didn't give him the password, wasn't intimidated by them. The judge threw away this, and they were exposed, that they're violating people's First Amendment rights. And Keith, turn that light back on. Turn that light back on. Yeah. And another thing, then a week later, they actually come and I had a gentleman sitting in front of my house, a friend of mine, and he was on the computer outside, and then somebody stole the car across the street from me. And I don't know what happened. My friend tells me, hey, they're searching little Manny. And then so I grabbed my camera and I go outside, and then I went out there with my cart because I had a car accident, and I went out there with my little service cart. And then what happened next was I went up after the police officer finished his investigation that he was just basically sissy dicking around, what I call sissy dicking, just talking nonsense and laughing and giggling. So obviously they're not doing any more police work. I went up to him outside with my bloggy, and I said, officer, I would like your name and badge number, please. And then he goes, I will speak to you in 1 second. And he got out the car, and he tried to reach for my bloggy and try to snatch it out of my hand, which I just gripped it even harder. And my good friend, he's African American. This is a predominant Hispanic neighborhood. Very strong Hispanic neighborhood. He's like maybe one of the few black people that actually live in my neighborhood. And he was going to go up to the cop to tell him to let go of my hand. And when I saw the cop reaching for the gun, I let go of my bloggy, okay? And because I didn't want my friend getting shot, because they were going to try to use the color of law on this, that, a Hispanic police officer shoots a black person for intervening. And there's a video on Photography is Not a Crime that I went back inside the house and picked up my spy camera, and I'm outside complaining to the sergeant that he just violated my First Amendment rights by taking my bloggy. They're not supposed to do that. And this is not the first time. And then a week later, I went to City Hall, and this is on Carlos Miller's as well. His Photography is Not a Crime. They took my Luxie. I have a Luxie X2. If you guys don't know about Luxie X2, you should really look into it. It's a great tool. It's saved me a bunch of times. It's very small, very compact, and the quality of video is really good as well as the sound. And then they actually took my Luxie from me because I went to make a public service request, and they tried to say that I was a terrorist.
Yeah, we hear that a lot, actually.
Yeah. And for the people who don't know, a bloggy is a small handheld video recorder. And the Luxie is it looks like a Bluetooth that goes over your ear that is also a video recorder.
And I'm still trying to recover the footage that was lost when the police officer snatched. Because when he snatched it out of my hand and I actually let it go, he passed it on to the other cop, and the other cop actually deleted the footage. And I'm still trying to recover it. I've had 2 people look at it, and I'm also here. If anybody knows how to recover a lost video data, hit me up, please.
No, there's some good software online. I can probably shoot you a link to something like that when we're done with the show.
All right.
I know of some. But other than that, we're coming up pretty close on break. How is your campaign for mayor going?
Oh, they're getting really nasty. They're basically using third world country political, playing dirty politics, third world country style. They actually are trying to use my wife got arrested, and the reason she got arrested because the cop actually knows me, and I put the cop in his place. And then basically when they were getting arrested, her and a friend of mine, the cop asked her, are you Mr. Juan Santana's wife that lives on 56 and 12? And she goes, yes, that's my husband. And they actually arrested her just because of that, and they arrested the other gentleman that was committing the actual felony, grand theft. She didn't know what the hell was going on. And they're trying to use that right now, an incident that happened 2 years ago, that got thrown out of court, to try to smear my good name here locally in my city.
So where can people find you to find out more?
Oh, well, you can look me up on Facebook right now because I'm working on the website. Juan Santana for Mayor Hialeah on Facebook, /Facebook. It's about, I listen to a lot of radio talk show hosts, and honestly, I want to try to fix our problems locally first and see how far we can actually take this. Because the movement that these gentlemen have started with CopBlock.org, and what you guys are doing is a great thing, because we need to inform people of their rights, and we need to, watch the watchers, okay? Just like what you guys stand for, and I'm actually trying to order some of those shiny badges that says, just because you have a badge don't grant you extra rights. I was trying to order some of those. I don't know if you guys saw those.
Yeah, they were available at Porkfest for the first limited run, but because they're such hot sellers, Daffy Barker will be making 400 more, I believe. So,
yeah, I tried to order some, but it wasn't going through. I was like, okay, whatever. I thought it would be funny, just to go around just flashing the badges in their face, because the Miami Heat just won the championships again, And down here in Hialeah, people get their pots and pans, and they start banging. It's kind of like a tradition down here, and they do that till like 3-4 o'clock in the morning. And I went out cop blocking because the last time the Miami Heat won the championship, they were intimidating people with shotguns. And they were wearing 3 guns on them. It's over-intimidation. They're not supposed to be doing that. And I had to correct a couple cadets. I have a bullhorn, and I corrected that cadet, that wanted to be a police officer. She was actually getting in people's faces, screaming at them to the top of her lungs, telling them to get back on the sidewalk. And I was right there saying, "Excuse me. Don't yell at people. Be respectful, okay? You want to be a police officer, you need to learn how to deal with people of the public." And then everybody was clapping their hands around me, And they were asking who I was and what I was doing. And I tell them that, I'm cop blocking, and I was telling them about the organization. And, we're just trying to start the movement down here, really get people back out there. And I'm thinking about opening up. Have you guys heard of Peaceful Streets out of Texas?
Yep, we've talked to him a couple times.
Yeah, I'm thinking about asking him if he needs somebody to start a chapter here in Miami as well. I want to do this because if I become mayor, I'm even going to tell the citizens of Hialeah, if you interact with the police, you need to film them to keep them accountable. Okay? Because I've gotten pulled over by them. And there's a video of me online that says Hialeah police pulling me over and me flexing my rights. The cop came, I was the passenger. And I didn't have to give him my ID. Oh, we're going to break?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay,
that would be a great message from an elected official to, hey, you should probably be recording your elected officials and your appointed hired gun. So thanks a lot, Juan, for joining us. You can find him over on Facebook if you search for Juan Santana for mayor, I believe. Highly. All right. After the break, we'll be talking to Jacob Crawford from WeCopWatch.org. So stick with us through the break. You're listening to the Cop Block Radio Show on FPRN.
Tired of living in a violent society? If every citizen was armed, no one would be dumb enough to shoot people. It's exactly the ethos our founding fathers had when they wrote the Constitution and then changed it, which is what makes it sacred now. Come mingle with safety-minded people like you at the Liberty City Gun Club. Our nation is still the world leader in one thing: armaments. Nothing says excitement like a night out with a small caliber semi-automatic weapon. Get social at the Liberty City Gun Club.
Well, yeah, it's getting tough out there. Yeah, no doubt. I work in home invasions, mostly. Some murder, occasional rape, if she's hot, or really bitchy. And I'm a huge advocate of gun control, absolutely. Every time I kick in a door or smash a window, I face the possibility of being shot and killed. Allowing citizens to own guns creates a hostile work environment for me and my associates. No one should have to work under those conditions. I say make them all illegal, absolutely. I mean, I break the law for a living. I'm a professional, so it doesn't really bother me. No doubt. No doubt.
Your local violent criminals work hard and put their lives on the line every time they attempt to murder, rape, abduct, or assault a member of the citizenry. They desperately need your help. With your support, there may finally come a day when a violent criminal can have his way with you or someone you love without the fear, anxiety, and stress caused by knowing there's a possibility his victim might be armed. Please show your support by voting for stronger anti-gun legislation, because criminals prefer unarmed citizens.
Nothing is more American than Diamond Gusset jeans. 100% American made since 1987. Soft and broken in from the start, yet more rugged and durable than any jean you've ever worn. Have you ever experienced missized jeans from China? Well, you won't with Diamond Gusset. Every pair is crafted to fit exactly the same and always feel like they were custom made. Need a 35, 37, or 39 waist? How about a 31 inseam? We keep all sizes in stock for the fit you need. Looking for a relaxed fit, slim fit, regular fit, boot cut, or straight leg? We got you covered. Buy the world's best fitting jeans at Gusset.com or call 1-888-8GUSSET. Get free Gusset targets for the next time you go to the shooting range with the purchase of their new Ranger jean. Use code COMFORT when ordering to receive free shipping on all Gusset orders at Gusset.com. That's Gusset.com to get only the best all-American jeans.
Do you have a group or organization founded on the principles of personal liberty, health freedom, or accountable government? We invite you to check out Same Side Entertainment. Same Side is a source for activists and liberty organizations to connect with well-known leaders in today's growing movement for sustainable living, personal liberty, and sovereignty issues. Same Side has a variety of keynote speakers, debate panels, interactive web presentations, musicians, and liberty-based entertainment, as well as services for web design, graphic design, video, and photography. Same Side can help customize your event by connecting you to the best of the liberty and political world while staying within your budget. Get connected with leaders in the liberty movement like Tom Woods, Kevin Gutzman, Jack Hunter, Robert Scott Bell, Bob Murphy, Michael Scheuer, John Bush, Jordan Page, Tatiana Moroz, and many more. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and our website at www.samesideentertainment.com. Again, that's www.samesideentertainment.com. Same Side Entertainment, connecting you with the education and resources you need.
Hi, I'm Chuck Norris, a black belt patriot. If some thug breaks into my home, I could use my roundhouse kick, but I'd prefer he look down the barrel of my gun. And millions of other law-abiding families also rely on their Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. Some politicians say they support your rights, but unfortunately, their voting records say otherwise. Protect your rights on Election Day. Check the candidates' records and see who stood up for your families and who protected the criminals. I'm Chuck Norris, and I approve this message.
Just let them try and outlaw those guns.
Thanks for listening to FPRN. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter. You can listen live at www.fprnradio.com.
Sergeant Faith, peace officer for the city of Oakland. I hereby declare this to be an unlawful assembly. You must leave now. If you refuse to move now, you'll be arrested. If you refuse to move now, chemical agents will be used. Okay, they have been warned. Hang on, team, deploying gas. Deploying gas into the front of the crowd. Tango team, go ahead and deploy.
And we are back on the CopBlock Radio Show on FPRN and hopefully syndicated across the interwebs. What you're just hearing is the audio from one of the videos that our next guest has put together. And on the line now, we should have Jacob Crawford from WeCopWatch.org.
Hey, how you doing?
Awesome. It was great to when I think Pete suggested to have you on, so it's awesome to have you on. So you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and the organization you're with and how it got started and all that?
Okay, let's do that. Hey, you guys, everybody on air, my name is Jacob Crawford. I'm part of a movement called Cop Watch, and actually, I guess we all are, since we're all out there watching the police. I guess where I can start is I moved out to Oakland from the East Coast back in 2000, and I was just appalled at the discrepancy of treatment, between people with these police. They just stop people of color and just jack them up. And, I had a video camera, so I pulled it out, and I was really astonished at how much impact just standing there and observing could, what it could do. Watch people that were in handcuffs, come out of handcuffs. And, this was back in 2000. It was around the time that there was this rogue gang of cops, dubbed the Riders, that were beating people, planting guns, all sorts of stuff on people. And, so I went out and I started there. And when you go up against rogue cops, you should come to the realization that you shouldn't be doing that stuff by yourself. So I got involved with Berkeley Cop Watch. And Berkeley Cop Watch actually, the first Cop Watch group. And it started back in 1990, and it's a solid group. They're founded on principles of nonviolence, and they hit the streets trying to, advocate for homeless people in the Berkeley area. And it doesn't even start there. I mean, if you guys know anything about Oakland, it is also the founding birthplace of the Black Panthers. So back in '66, residents of West Oakland were hitting the streets with guns and law books, and they'd monitor the police. So the Bay Area is a pretty active place, and I've been very fortunate to, learn a lot from there. And, the years have gone by. I've spent a lot of time trying to help other Cop Watch groups start. And, and now we've got a lot of different groups. We've got Cop Block, we've got Peaceful Streets, and we've got a lot of people that are really taking on this gospel and the responsibility of going out there and advocating for other people. So I'm very happy that you guys are here. I'm really impressed at your consistency and you guys specifically, the radio show. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. I guess a big idea of Pete and the Demos, and Eric kind of took it off, and I joined with him, and we just kind of went with it, and we've been going with it since then. And it's been doing great.
Yeah.
Now, other than that, so you were on the WeCopWatch.org website, and how's that been going?
It's good. It's 4 months in, and I'm really. I started it because I wanted to really, like CopBlock. Oh my God, I'm so impressed. I joined up with Pete and Adamo a few years ago after seeing some of the stuff they were doing, and CopBlock they go out and they watch the police, but they do a lot of stuff. Everything from call-ins to people managing websites. CopBlock. When you identify with CopBlock, you're taking what is most natural to you and applying that in the struggle for police accountability. But we got to recognize that there's a war against us watching the police, and so yeah, I jumped the website up. It's been going pretty well. Excuse me, I'm parched. I have not even really slept over the last 24 hours. We'll get to that part in a minute. But yeah, what I'm trying to do with that site is really just bring people together with their experiences, mostly around watching the police. So there's a lot of websites out there about police brutality. We can watch that stuff for days. But, with the amount of strategies and tactics that they're trying to use to dissuade us from cop watching, I think it's good to have a clearinghouse for that stuff and for the successes that we have. Because, the one thing that they can't do, they cannot shut down the peaceful observation of police,
So, let's see here. How has your recent activity with going out and cop watching? I know you kind of mentioned something about the fact of the lawsuit that was just settled recently.
Oh yes. Well, yeah. So I've been cop watching for a decade, and at the end of the day, I really don't have any faith in that we're going to change the police. I respect the cop blockers for going out and having conversations with the police and trying to get in their mind a little bit about what they're doing and why it's wrong. I have no faith in the police. I don't think that they can police themselves. I don't think that we can police them. But I do have faith in you, and I have faith in me, and I have faith in people. So yeah, I don't know. At this point in time, I found I found that the most important thing when we're going out and watching the police is just to try to have a mediating effect. At the end of the day, if I can keep somebody from going to jail, for a victimless crime or not a crime at all, whatever, it doesn't matter. I've done my job. But I don't know, 10 years of that, and we're becoming more and more active as a whole entire population. People's consciousness. At this point, I remember a time when people didn't know that they could watch the police. But that kind of brings me to Oscar Grant and Occupy Oakland. Have you heard of Oscar Grant?
No. Can you inform us a little more?
Yeah, Oscar Grant was a young man. He was a resident of a neighboring city around Oakland, and on January 1st of 2009, he was pulled off a train, a BART train, by the police, and he was actually shot in the back on video. From there was a series of rebellions, and a lot of pressure was applied, and the cop was charged with murder. That's a whole other story. There was really, I don't feel any justice. I think they gave him involuntary manslaughter, and at the end of the day, we're not into these prisons, But I say that to say that, at least in the Bay Area, there became a consciousness, much like around the time of Rodney King, that whoa, we can do this, and it's had a pretty big impact. At this point, when the police stop people, everybody's watching, and you'll always see cameras and stuff like that. But, kind of on the tail of Oscar Grant, which happened in 2009, Occupy spread across the country, and, it did as well in Oakland. And so I don't know, any of the viewers, if you guys know anything about Oakland, but we do. We've got a pretty bad, police force, a lot of shooters on it. A lot of the cops on our police force have shot multiple people, ranging from 1 all the way up to 5. and these cops get promoted, and they're put in very special details, SWAT team, whatever. And, when they come out to protests, they're the ones that are giving shotguns with less than lethal rounds and tear gas and all that stuff. So, yeah, when Occupy Oakland happened, it was very special because, it's a poor city, and while a lot of people were dealing with the banksters and all this stuff, we were very fresh out of Oscar Grant, and so there was still, a lot of energy and anger around police. And I remember in our initial weeks, we created a no police zone. The police were not allowed in our area. And I don't know how it's like in other places, but when the cops tried to come into our zones, we pushed them out. We didn't attack them. We pushed them out. They were not allowed in. If they wanted to drop their guns, and not use threats of force and all that stuff, yeah, they could come in. But, that never happened. And so, the police were really not happy about that. And on October 25th of 2011, they raided our camp. And there was a series of things that happened throughout that morning, afternoon, and night. And, a lot of it did involve tear gassing and the shooting of these less than lethal rounds. I don't know if you've heard of Scott Olson. He was a vet. He was shot in the head with a beanbag round. And as people were trying to get him up, an officer threw a concussion grenade on him and the people. And all this stuff was captured on video. And so, yeah, around that time, obviously I've been in Cop Watch forever. But I wanted to do more. I felt like I'd do a good job trying to keep people safe and, trying to get people out of the handcuffs, out of the back of cars, and along their safe and free way. But now all of a sudden we had tons and tons and tons of documentation. And so I teamed up with a reporter named Ollie Winston. We started going through these videos. We actually end up finding out the officer that threw the concussion grenade on Scott Olson. His name is Robert Roach. And to my understanding, he is fighting for his job right now. He's a 3-time killer. And he's just one of many. And that's kind of my point, is that, these officers that are put, into these lines with these guns are cold-blooded killers. And so, yeah, I don't know. 2011, 2012, we spent a lot of time going through all these incidents and identifying the officers and putting stuff out. And so, yeah, if you Google Ollie Winston, East Bay Express, Oakland Police, you'll find a lot of our findings. But, as of last year, I guess it developed a little bit of a reputation. And so the National Lawyers Guild, which is, you know what the National Lawyers Guild are?
I am actually unfamiliar with it. I haven't.
Oh, okay, good. And for those that aren't, it's a collective of people. In our case, they would represent people getting arrested. I think they represented during Occupy Oakland up to 1,500 people, in their defense. And, in Oscar Grant, I think at least 100, maybe more. So anyways, yeah, the National Lawyers Guild reached out to me. They had just received a hard drive full of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of police cameras because in Oakland, the Oakland police now have cameras on their chests. And so, I took on the task of processing all this data and, letting them know what my findings were. And, it turned out to be a lot of stuff. We got cops just talking straight on camera like how they know we're murderers or, yeah, let's go beat some ass, or, just exactly what you expect of a bunch of rogue thugs to say, And, so I went through all the data, and then we worked to recreate all these incidents, using all these different police cameras and civilian cameras. And we were really able to show how exactly opposite things were comparatively to what they were saying in their writing. I mean, they were just straight up lying, and so we were able to do that, and as a result, today we actually settled for $1.17 million for 11 plaintiffs, and they're ranging. Some of them were were beaten, and other ones were shot with these less than lethal weapons. I guess, you know, it's a good day on some levels. It's kind of sad that this money isn't coming out of the police pockets. And
Oh, did we lose him?
you know, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I remember they shot at us back in 2003, and the National Lawyers Guild was able to, you know, change the crowd control policy. Going to be good for a while, but, you know, then when Oscar Grant happened, they started showing their force again. And in Occupy Oakland, they showed their true colors. So, but yeah, it's been good. I think that anybody that's interested in watching the police, you know, I think that's the first step is, you know, taking a stand and looking out for other people that are. But, you know, as you get more involved, you're going to see that connecting the dots is important. You know, bad cops get promoted, and then they look after bad cops. And all cops know, you know, after a few years that they're kind of just part of the problem, too. I mean, they know that jails don't help, and they know that they're breaking up families. So what you have is a job, a workforce of people that aren't accountable, and they look out for each other. And so I think it's really important for people to really connect those dots, to know the officers and to know their relationships with each other, to know what they've done, and to make those findings public to help other people know. You know, so.
No, it sounds like you're headed in the right direction. You kind of lost faith a little bit there, but you know, I mean, you still, and it's hard sometimes to just know that you're doing the right thing, even though sometimes, you know, it feels fruitless, like you're pissing into the wind or something, you know. But it sounds like you're still doing an amazing job, and I know that, you know, you're getting more people behind your movement, and you know, we appreciate everything that you're doing, man. To take the time out and, you know, get with us on the show here for, you know, a half hour out of your evening, you know, the day before holiday. We do appreciate you coming on, and you know, where all can we find you? Are you doing any speaking, or, you know, what kind of advice do you have for our listeners that are, you know, we're trying to get everybody to be more active and to, you know, play a bigger role and to spread the message?
Yeah, well, you know, I look forward to coming back on. We can definitely do some more sessions about your rights and about strategies, you know, when we're out in the streets. I mean, if you want to find me, you're going to find me in the streets. You're not necessarily going to find me up on a podium. But in the future, you know, we've, you know, Peaceful Streets and Cop Block, Demo and Pete and Antonio and myself, we met at the Pork Fest a couple weeks ago, and you know, I think it's time. I think that we all need to hold hands and you know, and embrace this struggle together, because it's only going to get worse. And so, yeah, you know, I've been contributing to Cop Block forever. You can always find me on Cop Block. If I have something, I'll put it on there as well. But yeah, you know, look forward to seeing, you know, more of together. You know, because we're really, it's amazing how much we have in common. We're all very peaceful and loving people, and you know, we don't want to perpetuate what we're struggling against. And so yeah, I don't know. I mean, we're planning a tour. You know, you'll see me and at least Pete, maybe a demo at the Peaceful Street Summit in Austin. Pete and I are gonna go out to Cape Town, South Africa, and you know, see how those racist chumps are. And you know, we're just really trying to kind of unify and show people that, you know, it doesn't matter what you identify with. You want to be Cop Block, you want to be Pig Patrol, you want to be whatever you want to be, man. Be it. Do it well. But, you know, if there was one thing I could really tell anybody that's listening right now is look, if you see something, you can watch it. You can do this, you know what I mean? Like if do whatever you feel comfortable with, but you have the right to watch the police, okay? But if you're going to do this proactively, don't do it by yourself. You got to get aligned with other people that are like-minded, and you guys need to protect each other. You know, with Cop Watch, I mean, we in Cop Watch, we don't do these things by ourselves. We actually, it's one of the most important things. You don't want to be isolated. You don't want to be, you know, targeted. You know, we exist not because the police are great. We exist because the police are corrupt. And so we have to treat that very, very, you know, delicately. And so, yeah, it's very important to reach out to like-minded people, you know, to have good relations, to not perpetuate what you don't like, you know, about these police and about these systems of authority. yeah, to be, make the world a better place, and live it. Like, we need to live in a world where we don't rely on the police. And what does that look like? That means that we have to be a lot more responsible. That means that we have to find ways to not necessarily intervene, but to be present and participate in justice, together. And these are conversations that we can have, and these are actions that we can participate in. It's not unrealistic. There are towns all over southern Mexico where people are kicking the police out of their towns. They're going back to the old ways,
Yeah, man.
So it's possible.
Yeah, I think that you're so well spoken and so versed, and your experience really shows. Whenever you choose your words very carefully. And that's I'm not sure how early you tuned in or what, but I'm sure you've heard of Shield Mutual with George Donnelly. We had him on earlier, and I know that on the show we talk about go out and do things in numbers, strengthen numbers and be there for each other, and have radios and have these systems set up. So I know that we've got a bunch of people, and even here at the studio, we're talking about getting some sort of protection in place, because it's I don't want to say it's inevitable, but it's just so likely that you would be unjustly taken away, kidnapped, and caged by some guy that thinks he knows how to best run your life, and he can do with you as they choose. So you got anything else? We got about 4 minutes before we're done with the show, man. If you got anything else, you got a minute or two here to let it flow, man.
Oh yeah, I'll talk your ear off. Okay. Well, the one thing that I would say is also, we treat these stops. When we walk up to the cops, man, you can call a cop a pig. You can do all sorts of shit. But here's the deal, man. There's somebody there that could be going to jail. So we treat these situations like hostage situations, right? We're the hostage negotiator, man. We're trying to get those people free. And so de-escalation is everything. It's going to be hard because you're going to see things that you don't like. You're going to see exactly what is wrong with the police. But it's upon you, it's upon us to actually try to make these situations better, and also to try to make it better for the next cop watcher, the next cop blocker, the next peaceful streeter. So you can the stop can end, and you can just give the cop holy hell. Fine, you got the right to. And I guess that's the part where I respect Cop Block, for what they do. I won't do it. But I know that I'm not going to. I'm not going to try to put, negativity into a situation and get personal and make it so that the next person, look, man, I'm a white guy, man. I carry a lot of privilege in this world, and so if I go around throwing my white privilege around, what's going to happen when a person of color goes and cop? You know what I mean? And they're just going to hit them. They're going to get at them, and so we're not just representing ourselves when we do this. We're representing a movement, a gospel, something beautiful. And so we want to hold it very gently. And we, it's like I heard something today, treating it like a race, right? Some people just going for the mile, hard and heavy, and then starting to realize that no, maybe it's like a marathon. You got to pace yourself, but it's not like that. It's like a relay race. You got to keep on passing this thing down to the next person, because this struggle is going to be forever. And so, don't make it harder for the next person. Don't get personal. We walk slow. We walk up to these stops slow, We're just trying to make things better. And like I said, I'm relying more, and I have more faith in you than I do in them. And so I'll spend more energy talking to you right now on this radio show than I will with a pig after a stop. It's a fucking racist. But it doesn't mean that I'm gonna, that doesn't mean that I'm gonna try to, agitate them, or a scared cop is a dangerous cop. A disgruntled cop is a dangerous cop. So we treat them like wild animals, man. We just,
Well, thanks a lot, Jacob, for coming on. That's Jacob Crawford from WeCopWatch.org. Thanks to all other guests. We had George Donnelly from ShieldMutual.com and Juan Santana from CopBlock Miami. So make sure to check out Line of Fire on Saturday night at 6 o'clock. And be sure to come back next week for more FPRN lineup. You're listening to the CopBlock Radio Show. And remember, until next time, badges don't grant extra rights.
Thanks for listening to FPRN. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter. If you'd like to start your own show with FPRN, advertise with us, or donate to the network or to your favorite shows, check out our website at www.fprnradio.com.